Before we get started today, LRA recently adopted a new set of programs to advance the mission to support housing, business, industry, and increase tax revenue for the city of St. Louis. We'll briefly walk through the programs and new forms related to these programs and operational changes within LRA. Our first program is the side lot program that we have roughly 935 designated parcels that fit this program that are under 4,000 square feet, and there will be an application attached to this specific program. The as-is building rehab program is the traditional program designed for offerers who are purchasing an LRA property that has an existing structure. The new construction program is designed for new construction to occupy vacant parcels to bring them to revitalization with new construction properties. The general lot purchase program is our general lot program that would approve or work with offerers looking at lots that are Class A that do not fit some of the other criteria of programs designated by the LRA Commission. Then there's our development program, which is focused on large-scale development to secure multiple parcels to do larger projects within the city of St. Louis. Then we have our stabilized building rehab program. This program is designed to support individual parcels that have received stabilization from either Proposition NS or other programs to be developed as we move forward. So let's get started on the forms associated with the new LRA reform. The first application is the side lot application. It is focused on resident owners seeking to purchase an LRA parcel next to their residence or rental property. Be sure to complete the application in its entirety, making sure that you have your property taxes paid on the purchase or the property that you currently own. Again, the side lot program is for owners who either are occupying the parcel next door to a side lot or have ownership and are renting the parcel next to a side lot. We'll move forward to our comprehensive offer submission form. That would include a number of our programs within this specific offer submission form. Please be sure to complete this part of the application or offer in its entirety, making sure that you identify the planned reuse and focus on the number of parcels and the amount of your offer in totality. If you are attempting to purchase multiple parcels, please make sure that your offer is inclusive of all parcels within your submission. As you submit your forms, there will be a parcel exhibit for parcels for offer purchase, as well as for options. Please complete separate forms for options and also for parcels for potential purchase. Those forms will also be made available in a link on the LRA website. Again, we want to make sure that offer information is done in its entirety. And as you may note, list of properties owned in the city of St. Louis, and if you have purchased property from LRA in the past, we will require you to use a separate parcel inventory document to ensure that we have current information about all parcels either currently owned and or those parcels that were purchased through an LRA process previously. Please be sure to include and answer all questions thoroughly. In front of you, you will see a series of questions that have yes, no. We encourage you to check the appropriate box. And if you are checking yes, please explain, because a yes to any of these questions does not equal an automatic declination of your offer. This is to ensure that we're making sound decisions and providing information to the LRA commissioners to make a sound decision about your offer. If you are an entity, please be sure to provide your federal tax ID number, information around where your entity was established, whether you're for-profit or nonprofit, and please describe the nature of your business. In addition, talking about the number of employees, the years in your current location, and whether or not you own the location you're in or if you rent. Again, there's a series of questions that are yes, no, that we encourage each offerer to complete in its entirety. And if you select yes as your response, please explain to provide clarity to inform the LRA commissioners of how to make a decision to support your offer submission. As it relates to your project planning information, please select all components that are relevant to your project, ranging from new construction to mixed-use development, and or if you are considering private parking. In addition, please be sure to identify the number of parcels, the percent of the parcels or units that are rehab and or the units that are new construction, and determine whether or not if their existing structures need to be demolished. Again, the mission of LRA is to support housing, industry, and business. So please make sure to identify within your offer submission how your offer is going to support those tenets of the LRA using this section that we see in front of us right now. Previously, LRA has allowed offerers to submit what we call sweat equity. Moving forward, we are asking anyone who is providing professional services to your project for you to provide the firm's name, a contact person, and their contact information, and later on within your budget to include the in-kind services that they will be providing, calculated at an hour per rate that is appropriate for that specific industry. Again, even if you are an individual, please calculate the number of hours that you feel you are contributing to the project as a part of your your project budget. For development projects, please be sure to consider these questions around zoning and acquisition to make sure that you're describing your project and following all necessary protocols to move forward. As it relates to budget and financing of your project, please include the estimated project cost. Be clear about how you are going to finance your project, whether it's personal funds, bank loan, or other assets in your disposal. To be clear about that, to ensure that we understand how you are going to support the funding of your project and or offer. If you are submitting for federal tax credits or any other tax credits and or tax abatements, please be clear around what you're offering or attempting to apply for and what you're attempting to secure. Property maintenance. As we move forward, LRA will be holding offerors who have options to be responsible for maintaining properties, as well as if you happen to reside outside of the city of St. Louis, we are encouraging you or requiring you to have a property management company who will be a point of contact to execute your project and be responsible for maintaining the external part of the property if you have a parcel under option. There's a series of disclaimers that have been changed and modified. Please be sure to read the disclaimers thoughtfully and carefully. Whereas you will be held responsible for the disclaimers within this offer packet. So again, please review the disclaimers in their totality, whereas you will be held responsible for the information within those disclaimers as you move forward. The offer submission checklist. This is an additional document to ensure that you have all necessary documentation to support your offer. For individuals, proof of income, proof of financing, if it's personal, as well as bank financing. If you are an entity, your certificate of good standing, proof of income, and also proof of financing. As we've moved forward, understanding that residents play a huge part of the transformation of our city, community engagement is now an integral part of the LRA offer process. And when you submit your offer, you will be given instructions on where and with whom you may need to engage to garner support for your project and complete your outreach summary form, including the number of individuals and buildings within the region, as well as describing the work and activity that you conducted during your community engagement. For those developers who are required to respond to neighborhood engagement based upon individuals within 350 feet, there is also the neighborhood consent form that those residents that you engage will be required to offer consent to the project for LRA's consideration. The consent form, as well as the community engagement, are not clear decision makers to support or decline an offer submitted to the LRA Commission. It is allowing an opportunity for residents to weigh in and speak to what they want and desire in their neighborhood. But it is important for everyone to know that the final decision on the acceptance of an offer resides with the LRA commissioners. For temporary land use, please complete this application in its entirety, making sure that you list if it's a singular parcel on this application. If you are seeking to do temporary use on multiple parcels, please use the parcel exhibit form to complete for all parcels, including ID and information associated with those parcels. Please include the date of use requested and the total number of calendar days. Again, within the total number of days, use calendar days, not business days. And please be very specific and describe your intent and use for those properties during the requested time of use. Again, as we continue to move forward, all of these documents we have made available during this session, as well as other supportive documents like a budget template and also the parcel ID form or the parcel exhibit will be made available on our website. And as a continued part of transparency of LRA moving forward, we want to share with you the LRA Commissioner decision form that each commissioner will be using as we move through the process. There are 3 rounds of engagement with commissioners around understanding parcels and offers that are being brought forward. and the commissioners will be making decisions based upon the offeror's ability to execute a project, the offeror's ability to be in good standing, the offeror's ability to maintain properties that they currently own, either through other purchases or LRA purchases, and being thoughtful around whether or not the budget is realistic. We'll also then track information around the neighborhood, whether or not a project is within the economic justice demonstration area, as well as if all of the community engagement has been completed in its totality and done in a good faith effort. I do want to take a moment now to reiterate that community engagement is a requirement for all offerors that the engagement is appropriate for, but do know that someone submitting a non-support does not equal your project not being accepted. Again, whereas the LRA commissioners are the final determiners of whether or not your offer is accepted. So I want to say thank you all for giving us an opportunity to walk through these documents. Again, these documents we made available on our website. And so we'll take a moment now, we'll stop presenting and actually move into our Q&A session to ensure we have an opportunity to answer as many questions as possible during the next 30 minutes of our session together today.
See her question. It's nice and clear.
Can we move to questions within the Q&A section? So I'll begin. There's a question from one attendee. The question is, how much money down is required for an option to purchase? How long are the option lengths? The option to purchase fee is still 10% of the total amount of your offer, and that 10% will no longer be counted towards reducing the sale price when you move to close. In addition, during the option period, you will be required to maintain the exterior, more specifically, the yard space of the parcels in question. The option lengths will range up to 12 months, with the reality that we may be limiting options to 2 years, no more than 2 terms. The next question: will offers for options to purchase be reviewed on February 22nd LRA meeting? Great question. If you are submitting an offer starting on the 15th, community engagement is required prior to your submission, your offer being accepted, if you are able to conduct community engagement and actually get your information into the LRA office for consideration by March 1st, your offer will be considered in March. No offers to purchase or options will meet a deadline for the February meeting. So great question. When are the sessions being held to further discuss side lot and our option sales? We will be posting information about ongoing sessions for all programs in the coming days and weeks. Please continue to visit the LRA website. And as we launch those sessions, we will be communicating that. So please, if you include your name and email address within the Q&A platform, we can keep you apprised of when those sessions that are focused on specific programs will be held moving forward. And all program sessions that we conduct will also be recorded and made available on the LRA website. I'm scrolling through to find additional questions. Let's see here. Thank you all for your patience. Thank you all for submitting your email addresses. We look forward to keeping you connected to the work of LRA as we continue to move forward in our efforts. Okay, another question. Where'd it go? Please be patient as we scroll through a number of folks providing information. Thank you so very much for your patience and participation in today's discussion. Where can we find a recording of this presentation? Again, that will be on the LRA website as we move forward into next week, and we will be developing other presentations on specific programs that will be made available for our residents in the city. The question was, please go over the community engagement requirements. We will hold a very specific session around the community engagement requirements. And if you pick up an offer packet, you will be given further instructions upon receiving your offer packet based upon the addresses and size of your offer packet. If you would like to receive more information directly, please continue to add your email address in the Q&A function, and we will make sure to keep you posted. The question is, how does this new process benefit small nonprofits where now you are requiring 25% down, and if approved, they have to show the other 75% of funding of the property? This will only exclude small business who have already have a different time. I'm assuming this is a difficult time in trying to raise money for their projects. That is a great question. One of the things we're really focused on is the opportunity to support development and being able to move parcels from our inventory into the active tax roll. We will be also providing information to businesses who are seeking opportunities to get support to support their project. However, in order for us to move things forward, it's going to be beneficial for us to support businesses or offerers who are actually prepared to move projects forward as a priority. We continue to do our very best to find opportunities to support individuals. However, using an option is one of the potential ways to make that happen, to support smaller developers being able to pursue development projects. Russell asked the question, will LRA be working with CDA to provide roof replacement? CDA is providing programs to individual owners. LRA and CDA will not be partnering to put roofs on LRA properties, but CDA does provide home improvement programs to support owners who need roof replacements. So the question is the process any different for adjacent lots to commercial property? If we are referring to the side lot program, it would fall under the same category of an owner of a commercial property, and there is a side lot next to that property that would be eligible as a side lot. Again, we have designated a series of parcels, roughly 935 parcels that fit the criteria of a side lot, and we will be able to make that list available as we move forward so residents can understand which parcels fit that specific program, because that program will not move through the traditional offer process because we have already designated those parcels within the side lot program to be able to move those parcels into the hands of owners next door in a faster protocol. Again, as I scroll, I'll continue to thank you for your patience as we answer as many questions as we possibly can during this process. Is community engagement required first? So the question is community engagement required for a small, undevelopable lot? If a lot is undevelopable, it is more than likely a part of the side lot program, and there is no community engagement required for the side lot program. Great question. Next question, is there a restriction on who can apply for programs, i.e. are city employees eligible to apply for properties? That is a great question. City employees are eligible to purchase properties within our current statutes. So there does not create any issues for city employees. One of the primary restrictions to be able to make an offer is one must be legally able to purchase real estate, which I believe you must be 17 or 18 years of age to legally purchase real estate in the city of St. Louis. Here's a question. It says, the community engagement means what? I want to provide housing for returning veterans. Does that apply? Great opportunity and excited to hear about you creating potential housing for veterans. The community engagement is focused on engaging CDCs, community partners, and neighbors about their desire and what they would like to see within their neighborhood. And so you presenting your plans and project to residents in the proximity of where you're looking to house veterans would be a part of that activity. So you would engage and understand how the community welcomes or desires to support that project, and then get consent from them to support that. And someone can present non-consent. However, again, at the end of the day, the LRA Commission has the final decision on whether or not to accept your offer to do development for returning veterans. Thank you for that consideration of serving and supporting our veterans, and we'll continue to move forward in our questions. We have a question that says, also, if I'm seeking, let me make sure you maybe said also. Question is, I'm seeking to get a grant for financing. Do I need to secure the grant first before submitting an offer? That is a great question, and the response is yes. It would be in your very best interest to have those funds in hand to strengthen your capacity and capability to execute on your specific project. First question, is this the first application period since October? We tried to submit then, but our application was, great question. This is the first time since potentially May of 2022 that we are accepting new offers to purchase for LRA properties. Offers that are submitted between February 15th and March 1st will be considered in the March meeting for LRA. We have a question. It says, let me go back up here. So 2 questions. Will this recording be made available for folks to reference later? Yes. The recordings from sessions will be made available on the LRA website as we continue to move forward. And let's scroll down. And I'm trying to get back up to the second question, please. Thank you for your patience. The second question was, how will established community gardens that have been utilized in the lease program be affected by the cancellation of the dollar lease program? Great question. Current garden leases will not be impacted by the decisions moving forward. So any garden lease that is currently in place, you will be able to look through or see through the terms of your garden lease. However, that garden lease will not be renewed under the existing terms. We will be conducting a series of community engagement activities across our city over the next series of months to really understand how we can garner better program opportunities to support community gardens, green space, and urban agriculture, and identifying places where we can provide opportunities for growers to purchase lots versus leasing, because the challenge with our garden lease is that it is a lease. And if LRA does sell that parcel, any investment that a grower has placed in a community garden will be destroyed based upon the new use of that parcel. We are thoughtfully and strongly supportive of community green space and want to make sure that we create lasting and thoughtful and intentional programs to support, again, community gardens, urban agriculture, and green space to ensure our city continues to grow and thrive. But thank you so very much for that question. Can you clarify that, please? Okay, please give me a moment while I continue to move forward on these questions. So one question is, which form will I use to purchase a vacant lot or family residence for new construction? If you are looking to purchase an existing lot, you would use the offer form that we talked about. If you're looking to do an option, you would also use the offer form. So the offer form is a comprehensive document for most of our programs to allow us to be streamlined in our processes. And so side lot programs and the temporary use are separate applications. All other forms of offers need to be completed within the offer packet. The question is the mow-to-own program still available? That is a great question. And as of our last commission meeting, the mow-to-own program was sunsetted. to move forward with the new programs that we have in place now? But that is a great question. Question is, can we download these forms? Yes, these forms will be made available to download, and on on February 20th, these forms will also be downloadable in fillable PDF. As we move forward, the preferred way to submit an offer packet will be within a fillable PDF that allows us to be able to read through offer applications with much more clarity and concise information. But again, yes, the offer forms and all documents will be made available to download Monday afternoon. There's a question that says, are there time constraints for completion? There are time constraints on completion. We will have a very specific session about that. But if you actually purchase an LRA property, you will be required to get that property completed within the 24-month span of time. Great question. So here's another question. For side lots over 4,000 square feet, are the requirements the same as for any other development project? Please use the offer submission if a parcel is not a side lot or is not being an application being submitted for temporary use. Then there are specific considerations for all properties and parcels that are above 4,000 square feet. So question is, who are the members of the LRA Commission? The chair of the LRA Commission is Clarence Dula. The vice chair is Ms. Gail Brown, Commissioner Gail Brown, and the treasurer / secretary is Commissioner Natalie Val. So this is a good question. What are Class A properties? Also, I have seen estimated property values associated with some parcels. Can you make offers less than the estimated value or appraised value? So first question, Class A properties are all properties that are available to make offers or to purchase. Class B parcels are parcels that are designated for government use and or holding, and Class C parcels are parcels that may be deemed undevelopable based upon any condition with the environment potentially within that space. But when you actually, as a resident, look on the inventory, that information will be made available for you about the class of a parcel. And again, all Class A parcels are open for offers to be submitted on them. Okay. So here's a question. It says, does the LRA know of or support any current small business loans or grants that BIPOC, I'm going to say, that qualify, that can be used for LRA property? We currently don't offer specific programs. I think one of the things that we leverage at this moment in time is our Prop NS program that creates a great opportunity for BIPOC or any resident to make an offer or a bid on a property that has secured a level of stabilization. SODC, as it moves forward, leveraging American Rescue Plan, American Recovery, goodness gracious, American Rescue Plan Act funds, there will be programs to support small business. We currently would encourage you to reach out to the Northside Economic Empowerment Center to secure some information about small business, as well as engage with the Business Assistance Center, where they may have access to some of those resources as well. So the question is about receiving the information from this session. Again, all of the forms and documents from today's session will be made available on the LRA website on Monday. Again, great question as we move forward. I have another question here that is, how can I work with the LRA to enforce the right of reentry clause in an executed contract that has been breached by the owner? For context, I would like to purchase a former LRA home that was sold to an out-of-state investor in 2021, and no work has been completed on the property. I would encourage you to send an email to our office and make the request for us to have a conversation about any specific parcel that you have concern about. Here's a good question. It said, does it matter if the side lot has an alley between your house and the empty lot? That would not be considered a side lot for you because the alley does prohibit that from being considered as a side lot for you if you are on the opposite side of the alley. That parcel would be considered potentially a side lot for the parcel that is next to it on the same side of the alley. These are really good questions. I want to continue to see if we can find some. Again, if we do not get to every single question, we do apologize in advance. However, all questions from today's discussion will be condensed into a series of Q&A responses or frequently asked questions that will be posted on the LRA website. Man, I'm excited to see folks wanting to be engaged and get information about this program. And I will say again, as we move forward, please stay connected to the LRA website as we will post more opportunities about specific programs to get more information and more specific information about how the process goes from start until finish to support you having as much information and our organization being as transparent as possible about all decisions that are being made on your potential offer for parcels within the city of St. Louis. Okay, yes, the recording will be made available. I think I've answered that question once before. Answer that question. Again, super excited about the great participation in today's session. Talked about right of reentry. Oh, here's a great question. How do you know if there are other offers we are competing against when we pick up a packet? And so if you go to the website, once an offer is fully accepted, that will be modified on the website and you will see that there's an offer on a specific parcel. Seeing that offer does not mean you cannot submit, because this is a competitive process and any parcel can have multiple offers on it. And so once an offer is actually submitted and received and documented and loaded into CityWorks, that information will be made available as you move forward. In the event that you think there might be multiple offers, the response is always be as competitive as you can be, but more importantly, be prepared to demonstrate your capacity to execute a project to support how the commissioners consider who is the best suited to move a parcel forward. These are great questions. Information about this program, information about it. So again, information about all the information shared today in the forms will be made available on the LRA website on Monday afternoon. And I know we have about 6 more minutes, so we want to make sure that we do things. Okay, what is the exact website? Let me pull that up here. So the exact website is extremely long. And so what I would encourage you to do is do a Google search on LRA on property search. And so that will get you to the place to start your journey, to do a search for potential properties to purchase by street address, neighborhood, and ward, also lot square footage and zip code. That is the best place to start your journey. And once you identify a parcel that you're interested, we strongly encourage you to come to LRA and attempt to get a closer look inside a structure to understand what the issues might be with that structure. I am sure you all are aware that LRA properties that are in our stewardship here at LRA are in different levels of repair need. And so being thoughtful about viewing a parcel before making an offer would be strongly considered, whereas most LRA properties require up to $100,000. I'm sorry, $100, not 100,000, up to potentially $100 per square foot to be redeveloped. More specifically, if an LRA property has been condemned, there is a higher level of rigor to get structural engineers to be a part of approving the redevelopment of an existing LRA property. So again, I would encourage anyone who is not familiar with the LRA owned property search to Google LRA property search to take you to that page. Again, these are great questions. And again, all these questions will be made available as we move forward. Okay, when can we start? Oh, great question. When can we start viewing properties? You are able to, once we begin to accept offers next week, Wednesday, you can be able to secure access to a key to be able to access the property, because in accessing the property, we'll have to sign a liability waiver, whereas LRA properties are, again, at different levels of need of repair and need to ensure that residents are cautious as they enter LRA properties. As we know, some of our structures are in a state of challenge and require us to be sensitive about the safety of residents who enter them. Question says, does the loan to repair the property need to be a reconstruction loan? That's a great question. The financing that you secure is the financing that you feel is best suited for you to support the project that you develop. LRA is not predetermining what financing that you bring to the table to support your offer and redevelopment of an LRA property. This is a great question. Will CDA lots also be available for $150 next to? Unfortunately, CDA lots are not a part of the side lot program, where there are other things associated with CDA lots. And so again, the answer to that question is that CDA owned lots are not falling within the side lot program. So here's a question. Is it possible to buy 628 properties? That is a clear no. I can answer that question very emphatically. That is a no at this moment in time. Is it possible? Hold up. Let's scroll down. Somebody add a new question. Can a developer pay to get an option on properties? Developers who are seeking to develop parcels are eligible to put options on properties that are part of your redevelopment plan. Again, all redevelopment properties will have to have community engagement, and there are time limits on how long options are in place as you move forward. So I believe we have gotten through all of our questions. And okay, wait a minute. Okay, a couple of came in that I missed. I'm sorry. Here's a question. If the option plan is selected and is not an outright purchase, would we still be able to start any construction? This would be for a side lot. Side lots is a specific program that is an application. There is not an option protocol on a side lot. So there are a finite number of parcels within our inventory that meet the side lot criteria. And so you would not pursue a side lot for construction. You would pursue, if the lot is next to your parcel, you would pursue that through the side lot program and then move forward from there. Question is the March meeting open to the public? All LRA meetings are open to the public, whereas the commission is a public body. And so all of its board meetings are open to the public. During the deep parts of the pandemic, that participation was restricted to virtual. As we still assess things, we are considering a hybrid of online and in person. But at this moment in time, we're still maintaining many of our meetings in a virtual setting. Great question. You can access the link to participate in all LRA meetings on the LRA website for future consideration. So I have a question. If an alderman approved, supported my project, but may not be around after the board is cut in half, do I need another letter of support from a new alderman? LRA does not require you to get a letter of support from an aldermanic leader. It is encouraged for you to engage your aldermanic leader, and their letter of support will be considered a part of your community engagement, and the commissioners will take all letters of support and or community engagement into advisement as they make decisions on your offer.
Questions in the chat.
In the chat. Oh, we're 11:02. We gotta stop. So we are at time. I want to say thank you all so very much. And can I have my team put up the last slide for today so folks know exactly what things are happening next? And so again, as I mentioned, Monday afternoon, all slides and or documents from today's session will be made available on the LRA website. We begin accepting offers on Wednesday, February the 15th. And all fillable documents, all documents will be made available in a fillable PDF form to download on February the 20th. As we move forward, we prefer that applications be submitted in the fillable PDF form, again, to ensure that we're able to read through your application in a thoughtful and considerate way. So again, I want to say thank you so very much for attending today's session. We look forward to seeing your offers in the coming weeks.